shoes back on. We went eagerly up the steps onto the boardwalk, past an oceanfront restaurant with tables of men in nice shirts eating seafood and drinking wine, and wandered into the Ice Palace bar, where a drag show was in full swing, with a queen lip-syncing to the Eurythmics. A giddiness overcame us as we sipped beers and went out to the bar's pool deck to smoke a cigarette. We knew that this drink in the Ice Palace would be an initial stop on the night's longer route, but for a moment it felt like time stood still, as if we'd always been here, at home in a new place that was disarmingly familiar. Later, we walked along the wooden walkways that divide up the layout of Cherry Grove, and stand in place of paved roads, with no automobiles allowed on the island besides utility and municipal vehicles. The same air of safety and affirmation permeated on the boardwalks. The eccentrically named cottages were adorned with fairy lights that looked inviting and kitschy. Elsewhere, there were plastic flamingos decoratively placed in the long grass, and rainbow flags hanging from doorways. We said hello to the people we passed, mostly couples and groups of friends, who happily said hello back, an etiquette of geniality I associated most with rural or small-town life, compared to the urban huff or scowl. With its ice cream parlour and gift shop, the Grove's downtown area did feel like a village, only with more drag queens and go-go dancers, quaint, with an edge of sexual permissiveness. At the eastern end of Lewis Walk, the horizontal street that runs along the edge of the Grove and faces the Atlantic Ocean, the walkway's planks gave way to sand, and the houses were replaced by trees. Looking ahead at the dark passage leading towards more vegetation, I could tell from the excited lurch in my stomach that this was the entrance to the meat rack, the legendary wooded cruising ground that separates the Grove from the Pines. Tempted as I was to run straight in and explore this mythical free-for-all, there were other discoveries to be made. We took a direct route along the beach and carried on towards the Pines. On our left were the distinctive modernist mansions the community is known for. Imposing geometric visions of glass and wood, with ocean views and swimming pools. Some of the houses had fences up around them, but that could hardly muffle the sounds of parties, the gentle thump of house music. To our right, we could make out the shadows of bodies writhing in the sand. Perhaps the meat rack was too busy tonight, or it was still unfashionably early to be seen there. Before we went to one of the clubs at the Pines Harbour, there was a beach ritual I wanted to perform. Roughly following a map on my phone, I was looking for a specific intersection where Ocean Walk meets Crown Walk. This night in Fire Island was also a pilgrimage of sorts. It was somewhere near this point on the beach that poet Frank O'Hara was killed in a dune buggy accident in the early hours of a Sunday morning in July 1966. O'Hara's work had brought me not only to Fire Island, but to New York in the first place, where I had moved for an extended research trip to work on my PhD about American poetry and cruising. Discovering his poems as a confused student was a formative experience, offering me what felt like a new, private vocabulary for loving other men. As I scrolled to find the list of O'Hara's poems I wanted to hear in this moment, the excitement of our evening in the Grove gave way to something more melancholy, the buzz fading against the vastness of the ocean. After a pause, I played a recording of O'Hara reading Ode to Joy, his voice tinny but unmistakable. In that moment, the utopian bluster of the poem's first line felt resonant. We shall have everything we want, and there'll be no more dying. What did I want from Fire Island? I had gone there in part to commune with its ghosts. Just as O'Hara had scrawled James Dean's name into the sand during a visit on the same weekend in 1955 that the young actor died in California, so I had gone to the Pines in 2017 to write Frank in the sand. Now, when I think back to that moment, I am reminded of the contemporary writers who have also met with some version of the poet on the island shores. Like Jameson Fitzpatrick, who pays homage to O'Hara in their poem A True Account of Overhearing Andy Cohen at Fire Island. This hungover recollection of spotting the reality TV star on the beach, written the morning after the speaker, took half a tab hoping to get some advice from the ghost of Frank O'Hara, becomes a meditation on the visual imperialism of the Pines, as embodied by the tanned and toned men who move along the shore with the ease of winners. In another Fire Island poem, British poet Sophie Robinson looks out in elegiac rapture to the sea, where the extremity of the waves and the rocks call to mind the mutilation.